Now, live from Palin Music Studios in Springfield, Missouri, it's Wake Up with Greg. Here's your host, Greg.
Good morning, friends, and welcome to Wake Up with Greg. I am your host, Greg Rosander with Palin Music Center, and it's a beautiful Thursday morning. Happy to be here with y'all today. Sun is shining once again, so got nothing to complain about. Complaining doesn't do any good anyway, so why bother, right? So I'm here to help you get your day started in a positive light. Just here to have some fun and share maybe some laughs and some music and whatnot. So if you're new to the show and you're wondering who we are and what we're doing, this is Wake Up with Greg every weekday morning at 8:30 a.m. Central Time right here on our Palin Music Band and Orchestra YouTube channel. You can check us out, and we're here to show you some really amazing instruments that are available to purchase on our website at palinmusic.com or by giving us a call at 417-882-7006 or checking out our Reverb page, or even better, just come into our stores. We've got a whole slew of them all over the world, so well, all over the central U.S. Anyway, what do we got, 12 stores, Jordan, I think, something like that? Yeah. 10 to 12. I always lose count because there's always new ones popping up. So anyway, so that's who we are and what we're doing, and we're also going to share music and sometimes we share art and literature and just all kinds of different things. Whatever I'm in the mood to share with you today. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be cool. I've got some saxophones for you as well today that I will be attempting to make some noise on for you. So stay tuned for that because it could be interesting. To say the least, it'll be interesting. So yeah, I mean that's pretty much who we are and what we're doing. Got a lot to cover today, but just some little bits and pieces for you guys. Go ahead and hit the like button, the subscribe button, the share button. Share it with all your friends and family. And I think there's a bell icon you can hit to get notified of all the upcoming stuff we got going on. September is just around the corner. Labor Day is this weekend. I hope everybody's got big, exciting Labor Day plans. So I think we'll be spending some time down in Rogers, Arkansas with my good friend, our good friend Deb. Don't know what we're going to do, but who knows? Hike, shop, eat. That's probably what we do. Anyway, so yeah, looking forward to it. Weather's supposed to be great. So it's supposed to be cooling back down this next week, which will be delightful. I think fall is on the way. We get a little jump start excited thinking that that's going to be here, but it always shows up a little bit later than we want it to. But that's all right. We'll enjoy it when it gets here. So yeah, that's all the stuff I've got for you. We're going to dig into some saxophones and some other things, but before we do any of that good stuff, just a reminder about the chat. Good to see you. Mom and Max are already on here this morning. Good morning. We've got the live stream chat going on, so best way for you to interact with me and me to interact with you, leave your comments, ask your questions, and I can give you a shout out. I'd love to know where in the world you're watching from. Like I said, we're in Springfield, Missouri, in the U.S., but we've got viewers from all over the world, so chime in, just be polite, be appropriate. This is a fun family show, so we don't want to bog the chat down with inappropriate stuff, so I would really appreciate that. So thank you so much. Let's dig in. But before we dig in, let's say good morning to my good friend Jordan. Good morning, Jordan.
Hey, good morning.
How are you today?
I'm doing good.
I like the color of that shirt.
Oh, thank you.
He's got I would call that a fall shirt for sure. I mean,
it feels fall.
Kind of, would you call that rust color? What would you call it? Copper?
Maybe,
rust?
yeah. Like a very burnt orange.
Burnt orange. We'll go with that. Burnt orange is kind of copper, I guess.
Yeah.
It doesn't have a metallic sheen like copper does, but yeah, looks good.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Mm-hmm. But we're not here to talk about my shirts.
We're here to talk about my shirts.
Yes, and your watch.
And the watch, yep. All right. Well, let's get that part out of the way here. Tommy Bahama, folks, I've got the two main brands that I wear on this show, the Daniel Cremieux and the Tommy Bahama, two of just my all-time favorites. And I love this one's no exception. Got all kinds of different kinds of leaves and colors. Everything's going on this shirt. If you look it up close, I can try to get up close to you. You can see there's kind of like hidden checkerboard pattern under there. I mean, just all kinds of fun stuff. Palms and who knows what all's on there. But, whoa, my chair's moving. This darn chair is going to kill me one of these days. All right, so that's the shirt. And then the watch, I'm just going to, because I want to be able to show it to you better. This is my Nixon Spur, is what it's called. This is a very special watch for me. This used to belong to my cousin David, who sadly passed away a few years ago. And this was gifted to me by my aunt and uncle, Pam and Roger. So in memory of David, and I wear it with honor and pride. And every time I do, I think of my cousin David, because he was an amazing musician, fantastic guy. Love him and miss him a lot. So very special watch for me. This is my Nixon Spur, and I think that's what it says on the back. Yeah, it says "Act Now." I'm not sure what that's supposed to represent, but anyway, really cool. There it is. So that's my watch. That's the shirt. Let's dig into some saxophones. I've got my gloves, but it's hard to play these things with the gloves on, so I'll just wipe my fingerprints off after the fact. Starting our roll call today for saxophones, we have a Selmer USA series. This is the Selmer SAS 711, not like the convenience store 7-Eleven, but just the model series 711. And this is the S model, meaning it's silver, all bright, shiny, silver-plated finish. So take a look at this. The case, I'm not sure what the stripes on the case are supposed to represent, because it's not really red, white, and blue, but I mean, it could be for like the French flag, but that's not the order that they're in, I don't think, but because it's more silver and pink and I don't know. Anyway, we're not going to worry about the stripes on the case. How about that? Let's talk about the saxophone itself. Let's pull this guy out here and look at this beautiful piece of machinery. The Selmer SAS 711S Professional US Series. Now, by US Series meaning it's distributed in the US, but it's actually still made in Taiwan, I believe. But it has all of the professional features that you'd want. Kind of just a step down from the Selmer Paris line, but certainly an upgrade from any of the intermediate horns out there. Selmer Paris, this is the, no, I'm sorry, I already said Selmer Paris. I already messed it up. Let me get the neck on here, because I'm going to need that to be able to play this thing. So let me just pop that on there real quick. The neck is a Selmer Paris neck, which is specially designed for these horns by Selmer Paris. But it has all of the professional features, your full post-to-rib construction, high F sharp, front F, mother of pearl key touches, adjustable thumb hook on the back, Italian leather pads with metal tone boosters, beautiful hand engraving. I don't know if you can see the engraving there. On these monochromatic horns, the engraving is kind of hard to see unless you've got the horn in your hands. But you can kind of see it there, so really pretty. It goes up and around the bow as well, up on the back of the body, and so on and so forth. So that is the, where'd my mouthpiece go? There it is. All right, let's see what kind of noise we can make on this thing here. I'm gonna probably stand up for this. Hopefully the mic can handle it. Sometimes we'll get a little distorted, but we'll see. All right, well, there you go. Kind of gives you an idea of what that horn sounds like. I love usually with the silver plating, you're going to get a bit more warmth to the sound. It seems counterintuitive because when you think silver, you think bright, shiny, but that added layer of metal kind of just brings that color of the tone down a little bit warmer, a little bit richer. Not as punchy and bright as you would expect from a horn that's punchy and bright visually. But anyway, there it is. Fantastic horn, great for any kind of advancing student, high school, college student, or great for any professional player looking for a little bit more affordable horn. Saxophones in this day and age are they just keep going up in price, and they're just so expensive. We, the saxophone players of the world, really get the raw end of the deal, because you guitar players out there, you can buy 4 amazing guitars for the same price as you can buy this saxophone, or like 2 really great guitars for the price of this saxophone. And this isn't the top of the line saxophone. You get, I'm going to show the Selmer Supreme here a little bit later. I mean, that horn you can get, whoo, doggies. Anyway, we saxophone players have to be rich financially to be able to afford these horns. That's why so many of them switch to playing guitar, because it's just more affordable. Anyway, so that's the Selmer SAS 711. Let me know what you think. It comes, like I said, with the Selmer Paris neck. Comes with a Selmer Paris hard rubber mouthpiece, and yeah, all the good stuff that goes along with that. So that is saxophone number 1. So what's next, sir?
Yes.
Sir Jordan?
Can you recommend some music for us?
I can. I was thinking, since we've been doing a lot of alto saxophones this week, of sharing some music from one of the greatest and most influential alto saxophone players in the history of saxophone playing. You've heard of him, you know who he is, the legendary Charlie Parker. And legendary doesn't even begin to describe him. Iconic doesn't begin to describe him, even though those are my 2 go-to words. Truly the most influential saxophone player in history. Every saxophone player since him has studied him and tried to learn his ways. Let me get my words working here. An interesting way that at least I think about it, is I'll say, Charlie Parker was the kind of guy who why play 1 note when you can play 12, but his phrasing and his musicality was just so amazing and so original, and so many players since him have tried to emulate him and have held him up as the gold standard by which all other saxophone players will be judged. I love Charlie Parker. I love what he's done for the saxophone community, and it's just, but I'm the kind of guy that's like, take what you know from Charlie Parker, take his sound, and incorporate it into what you do as an artist, as a player, but don't try to be Charlie Parker. Don't try to play the way, because you never will be able to do it. Regardless of how good of a player you are, there will only ever be one Charlie Parker. So create your own sound by taking all these other, anyway, blah, blah, blah. Let's move on. The song that I want to share with you is from an amazing album, certainly, again, an iconic album. Charlie Parker with Strings, where he played with a full string orchestra. And the song that I want to share is Just Friends, one of his most well-known, famous, maybe theme songs. I mean, it was certainly one of his that he went back to time and time again. So who do we got on the chat here? Dr. Pine, Apple VR. Hi. Hey, do you know Troy? I know a lot of Troys. Which Troy are you referring to? So Max is saying, sounds like more people should play guitar. More people should play the saxophone. But guitar is good too. Kamala 2026 says hello. Well, welcome to the show. Good to see you. Anyway, back to Charlie Parker here. Charlie Parker, is also known as Bird or the Bird. That's kind of his famous nickname, Charlie Bird Parker. There is I believe a statue of him is it, correct me if I'm wrong, is it Kansas City where that is? Near the Jazz Museum in Kansas City? I think. Because I think he's from Kansas City. You guys in the saxophone community didn't know better than I do, but check it out. I do know that I saw his saxophone. I've got a poster of it in my office of the Grafton acrylic saxophone that he played that sold at auction for, I don't know, a few years ago for something like $150,000 or something. And it was on display at this museum in Kansas City. Oh, I've seen you. You're the flute guy. Flutes, clarinets, saxophones, you bet. I do it all. So anyway, getting back to the piece of music really quick. Charlie Parker, Just Friends. Give it a listen. I'm going to add it to the Wake Up with Greg playlist right now. And for those of you who don't know, I've created a playlist for all of you on Spotify called Wake Up with Greg, which has all of the music that I've shared on this show for the past 130 episodes. Close to 130. I think 130 is going to be on Monday, maybe. Or not Monday. Monday, actually, just a note, we won't be here Monday. Labor Day weekend. And, you know, the national holiday is on Monday, so I will be off. So do not expect a show on Monday morning, but I will be back Tuesday morning, 8:30 a.m. to continue on the journey of music with you all. All right, next up. Well, I need to get another saxophone here, don't I? Probably need to do that. Okie dokie. I'm gonna grab this one here. Case looks the same because it is the same. But a different model, different finish anyway. This is the Selmer SAS 711 or 711B for black, and by black we mean black nickel. This I think is one of the prettiest horns out there. The Kyleworth that I played the other day has a similar finish with the black and silver contrast. But this one is just gorgeous, right? So here we have the same horns, same specifications, all across the board, the only difference being in the finish. This is a black nickel plated finish with the gorgeous engraving that really contrasts. It's cut down through to the brass, so you get that beautiful light and dark contrast with the engraving there. It really makes it pop. But with the bright silver keys, mother of pearl key touches, and the light, you can see the engraving all on the back of the horn as well. Just beautiful. I mean, this is really one of the prettiest saxophones I think I've ever seen. And such an amazing deal, guys. Both of these Selmer USAs are on special on the website right now, so check them out and take one home with you today because it would be amazing. Average Metal Enjoyer is back. Sorry I'm late. What is mother pearl key touches? Okay, mother of pearl. So that the key touches, that's the buttons, okay? So the buttons right there. And the material that they're made out of is called mother of pearl, which comes from seashells, primarily abalone or other types of clams and mollusks, sometimes mussels or other types of sea-dwelling creatures that create this oysters, also oyster shells, anything that will create a pearl, you know, like the actual gem that's a pearl, the round pearl that comes from the sea. This is from the inside of the shell of those animals, and so it has to be cut and polished and shaped and whatnot. But it's been a standard feature on saxophones pretty much since the beginning. You know, certainly well over 150 years worth of pearl adornments on saxophones. There's others that do, like the Cannonball. They do semi-precious stones like tiger eye and jasper, and you know, different kinds of actual natural stones, like the Ramponi and Kazanis I've shared on here. They do a natural olive wood, you know, and some other companies do a variety of other things. So you can do anything. Some will just have the keys just be plain metal. So it's just really just a matter of decorative preference. They do have a different feel to them. You know, the lesser expensive horns, like the student grade horns, will generally have a plastic or a faux mother of pearl, fake mother of pearl. So it looks like mother of pearl, but it's plastic. Let's see what this one sounds like. So with the black nickel, should be a little bit brighter, punchier sound because of the added metal and the hardness of the nickel. So let's see what we got here. I mean, I can hear it right away on my end. I don't know if you can hear the difference on your end, but. That last note sounded wonky, but that was just me. That was not the saxophone. Got some fingerprints on this horn because I played it without my gloves. So anyway, I'll get it cleaned up. But that's the Selmer SAS 711B in the black nickel finish. So there you go. Come and check these out on the website, palinmusic.com. Give us a call, 417-882-7006, or check out our reverb page at reverb.com. And you can have a new saxophone today. Keep forgetting my cork grease. We'll get some cork grease on there. We'll get those cleaned up. and ready to roll. What is next, my friend Jordan?
Yes, can you show us something cool?
Something cool, I can. Yes, the something cool today is a bit more of a history lesson based on yesterday's show. If you were here yesterday and saw, I shared some of the little cars that I collect, the little M2 cars. The model is a belly tanker that I showed. I should have brought the sample so you knew what I was talking about, but a belly tanker is a hot rod race car built from what is called a belly tank. And a belly tank came about in World War II, was an external fuel tank, an additional auxiliary fuel tank that they attached to the belly of airplanes to give them more fuel capacity so that they could fly farther to accomplish their missions. And then once those tanks were emptied, they would be dropped and you know, recovered by whoever. So there was a surplus of those at the end of the war. And you know, the car culture just kind of boomed during the late 40s, early 50s. And people started making race cars out of these fuel tanks, which is kind of cool. I am all over the place with the stuff that I collect that I'm interested in. John, show us a really nice tenor sax. Stay tuned tomorrow, John. I'll have tenors for you tomorrow. I've got just altos on the docket for today, but I will have some tenors to show you tomorrow. So come back and stay tuned. Let me know where you're watching from, by the way, all you folks out there. Dr. Pine, where are you? Kamala 26, where are you? John, is it, how do you say it? Coropas? Is that how you say it? Coropas? I don't know. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but there it is. Let me know where you're watching from. So getting back, I have this kind of passion for the P-38 Lightning of World War II, the airplane there that is, they call it the Fork-tailed Devil. It was one of the most versatile fighter bombers in World War II. And it's just one of the coolest airplanes ever built in the history of airplanes. I've got a few books on it. This one is kind of a guide to, like if you're building a model of these, it shows all of the different insignias and things that you can get from the planes. Anyway, cool book. This one I wanted to show a picture. This is Lockheed P-38. There is a picture in here. I tried to find one that really showed the belly tank. So if you look at this picture right here, all right, you can see underneath here these two little tanks. All right, so those are the belly tanks, and they would, you know, use those for added fuel, and then they would drop them later to lighten their load, so they were able to get back to their base easily. But the P-38 was a very important plane during the Pacific engagements, as well as in Africa. Very powerful plane in Africa, and there's a great story about this plane specifically, not this one, but if you've ever heard of the Lost Squadron, there was a squadron of P-38s along with a bomber, I think, that got stranded, ran out of fuel, and had to land on the kind of the southern tip of Greenland. And they had to abandon their planes and everything there, and they got covered up with ice over 50 years and were completely buried. I think it's like 40 feet of ice with the way the ice moves and you know, all that kind of stuff. Well, the story of the Lost Squadron, these guys found the site where the planes were, dug down through the ice all the way to find them, and then pulled one of the planes out from the ice and restored it to flying condition 50 years later. One of the most amazing feats of salvage and recovery. Let me see if I can show you some pictures of that. Here's kind of a diagram of, you know, they had to melt their way down through the ice and create these channels so that they could get down there, and then melt away the ice around the plane and pull it out piece by piece. You know, here's a kind of nice example. Anyway, the P-38 is just an amazing plane. I fell in love with it with a video arcade game called 1941. If you are any gamers out there and play in arcades like the one we have here, what is it, 1984 is the vintage arcade we have downtown. Really cool. All of the great 80s video games and whatnot, but 1941 was one of my favorites. A little P-38 plane, you go around and blowing up other planes. So a lot of fun, really cool. That's the P-38. That's my little, oh, I didn't show you my actual planes. Here you go. So here's one, if I don't drop it, right? See there? So the P-38 was the fork-tailed Devil because it had these twin booms that housed the engines with the cockpit in the center and this wide tail crossing both the booms. And so there is a version of that. And you know, they came in a few different paint schemes and whatnot. Here's a little smaller one with the green from the Army Air Corps. All right, the paint schemes were kind of based on whether they were Navy planes or Army planes or whatnot. The Air Force, as we know it today, kind of came about during World War II. It used to be called the Army Air Corps because it was part of the Army, but then it became its own separate division, the Air Force. So there's a little piece of history for you. And the planes. All right, so that's my little history, something cool lesson for you today. The P-38 Lightning and the belly tanks that then started the hot rod craze of the 50s. You boomers out there, you know what you're talking about. You guys created that whole thing for us, so thank you. Appreciate that. All right, saxophone number 3. As I said, I've got another Supreme to show you here with this gorgeous custom designed case by BAM for Selmer Paris. The one I showed earlier this week was the matte finish. Uh-oh, my voice is starting to go. And this one is the dark gold lacquer finish. So again, there's the little blanket with the engraving on it. And then here is the saxophone itself. Let me pull this out here and show you the beauty that is the Selmer Supreme. This is the top of the line, upper echelon, 100 years of saxophone design from Selmer, culminating in the greatest saxophone ever made in many opinions. What makes it so special? Everything makes it so special. The completely redesigned bore, the completely redesigned keywork and ergonomics, the just unbelievable hand engraving, the artistry on display on this horn, the grade of the pads, the metal tone boosters, just absolutely everything about this screams elegance and refinement, something like that. Anyway, so this is the Selmer Supreme in the dark finish. Get that neck on there nice and carefully there. And let's see what kind of noise I can make on this. For those of you curious, my mouthpiece is a J&D Height commercial jazz mouthpiece, hard rubber with a Harrison Hurst original H ligature and a Van Doren number 3 red box Java reed. You can already hear the difference in tone between this and the other two, just the sweetness and the purity and the richness in the tone of this saxophone. There you go. All right. If I had more time, would I play more? I don't know. But you get the idea of what these horns sound like, and that's the whole goal here. I mean, really, I don't know what else I can tell you about it. It's just, you have to see it to believe it. You have to play it to understand it. But it's definitely one of the greatest saxophones ever made, and it belongs in the home of any great saxophone player. So if you are a college student looking for your lifetime horn, if you are a professional player looking for that next level, this is definitely the horn for you. I mean, I'd sell it to a high school kid too, but you know, this is definitely a professional player's horn, one to be cherished. This is also, I mean, let's truly call this a legacy horn, something that will be passed down from player to player, from generation to generation. I mean, just like the Mark VI has for all of these years since the 50s, you know, the Supreme is now the next iteration of that. So there you go, the Selmer Supreme. This is the 92DL for dark lacquer. live on the website right now, palinmusic.com, or by giving us a call at 417-882-7006, or checking out the website at reverb.com. And yeah, so there you go. That is my final horn of the day. What's left, Mr. Jordan?
Just some wisdom. Can you share some wisdom with us?
Anybody ever heard of the artist Robert Plant? Come on, Jordan. Who's Robert Plant? No cheating. No cheating. Have you ever heard of the group Led Zeppelin?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Robert Plant, the noted as one of the greatest rock vocalists of all time, from one of the greatest rock bands of all time, Led Zeppelin. He is still performing today. He was kind of up there right in this whole same group as like, Mick Jagger from the Stones and what was the guy from The Who? I can't remember their names. I'm old, I can't remember their names. Anyway, Robert Plant, still performing today, known primarily from Led Zeppelin, but he's done a few albums recently with the amazing Alison Krauss, which would be unexpected. Alison Krauss is a beautiful country bluegrass artist, and then, the king of metal rock, combining to do some amazing Grammy Award-winning albums and songs, just outstanding. But this is a very simple quote from Robert Plant. He says, "Music is for every single person that walks the planet." So true. Music is for every single person that walks the planet. Even if you don't walk the planet, even if you ride, even if you got no legs like Lieutenant Dan, you got magic legs, you can still... I don't know if that was inappropriate or not, but I apologize. Lieutenant Dan, come on, you got to love Lieutenant Dan. If you are... I'm off the rails now, guys. My bad. I apologize. Music is for every single person that walks the planet, meaning every person that exists on the planet. Let's put it that way. So it's for everyone. And everybody's got their thing. Everybody's got their music that they love. Everybody's got their music that they don't like. But music touches everyone in their own particular way, which is what I love about it. It's so amazing. So, simple quote from Robert Plant. Thank you so much for that quote. That's kind of the show, guys. Get out there and make some music or share some music, listen to some music. Just get your day started off right with some music. And if you don't know what to listen to the playlist on Spotify, Wake Up with Greg. I will be back here tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. And let me leave you with this one parting thought. Helping people make meaningful music is what we do. And when you're ready, I'm here for you too. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.